Hi there, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Elk Calls here ahead of Game 2 between the Bend Elks and the Calais Black Bears. Elks in their final season series of the regular season. Here with Brandon Stinnett, just recently coming onto the squad, reached in 4 of your 5 at-bats last night. Just what has it been like to be able to get a little taste of the West Coast League here at the end of your summer?
Yeah, it's a great time. I mean, it's a little different. I'm coming from Legion Ball, so seeing a little higher velo, so it was nice to finally get on base and get things going a little bit. So it's definitely an adjustment I had to make, but it's going good. A lot of these guys have taken me under their wing and, helped me out through the whole process. So, yeah.
And you've got a connection here in head coach Joey Wong, and just a Sprague High School alum where you have gone to high school, and then also being the Elks coach and an assistant at Seattle U where you're going. Just what is your relationship like, and how has it evolved as you've gone through the years?
Yeah, can't get away from that guy. I love him to death. I mean, he's very knowledgeable, played however many years he did professionally, so I'm just trying to soak in as much knowledge as I can, and excited to spend the next 4 years with him up in Seattle.
So I've never been inside Sprague High. Is there anything like honoring him, any mural or anything like that, any like Hall of Fame inside of Sprague?
Yeah, in your trophy cases, I mean, he won state for football and baseball, so that's a big deal there, and always see that when I walk by and think of Joey, so yeah.
Did you look up to him at all growing up and just trying to emulate him game, being that you both were middle infielders?
Right, yeah, so he was a little before my time, but I'd always hear stories about him and try to live up to the legend Joey Wong at Sprague. So I don't know if I quite did, just being a baseball player, but I tried my best. So yeah.
Well, you gave a good shot at Central Valley Player of the Year this past season, and I know you don't really like to put the spotlight on yourself. You kind of like to defer it to your teammates. Where does that breed from, of having that selfless attitude?
I mean, I'm always team first guy. I don't really care about my numbers or what say, as long as I can help the team. That's just kind of been my mindset throughout my whole baseball career, and I continue to have that mindset.
Absolutely, and just playing in the highest level of baseball that you can at the high school level in Oregon, just what was that like competing against teams like Jesuit and other powerhouses at the 6A level? Yeah,
it was definitely good for me, for sure, coming into college ball, seeing the schools like Jesuit and Westland or whatever. They got some major league arms. So it's always fun to compete against those guys and just try to learn from it and get better.
Just summing up your time at Sprague, just how much did that school mean to you in your time there?
Yeah, I love Sprague. All 4 years there. I obviously had to make a trek because I actually live in Lyons, Oregon, small town. But I came out there, and I love my teammates. So I'll never forget the connections I made with them. And I love our coach, Coach Bukite. Always stay in touch with him. And it was a great 4 years. Nothing but good things to say.
So you just mentioned that you grew up in Lyons. Just how much did you appreciate the small town living as opposed to living in the inner city near Sprague, just having that separate lifestyle of living in a small town?
Yeah, I wouldn't trade for the world. I actually love living in Lyons. I have some of the Salem boys come down to Lyons and we fish and just mess around in the woods and stuff, so that's always a good time. But definitely 2 different lifestyles, but I'm glad I got to experience both.
So you got the whole rural hunting, fishing, loving every day?
Yep, that's right. Big hunter, big fisher, and yeah, growing up in Lyons, it's kind of forced upon you, but yeah.
There you go. You mentioned in an interview earlier with one of the newspapers that Chris Rogers was a guy you looked up to when you were in high school. Mm-hmm. How was it when you were at that high level, playing at high level at Sprague your senior season, to be able to kind of reflect that on the younger guys who were up and coming?
Yeah, we had a pretty old group, but we had my second baseman was a sophomore, Andrew Moon, and I tried to take him under my wing a little bit and teach him as much as I could, and I know he's having great success. He's playing for Balm Northwest, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he ends up doing, so yeah.
And now you're headed back to the bottom of the totem pole, going to be a freshman incoming at Seattle U. Just how are you hoping to contribute to the team this upcoming year?
I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I mean, if that means I'm a starter, if I'm a situation guy, whatever it takes to get wins for Seattle. That's kind of my goal, so yeah.
Future Red Hawk, Brandon Stinnett right here on this edition of Elk Calls as we get ourselves ready for Game 2, fireworks night here at Story Field out of Game 2 between the Bend Elks and the Calais Black Bears.